Right, welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. This is not something I would usually cover, but it's pretty important stuff. So I thought I would talk about it, because it's my channel, I'll do whatever I want. So Maxwell found guilty on 5 of the 6 charges, which is interesting. And we can kind of go through it and take a look at it, because it is quite surprising, because there's very little differentiation between what she was found guilty of and what she was, the one which she was found not guilty of. Actually, there is a subtle difference, but it's also not that different anyway. But yeah, I mean, look, you know, nonces are going to nonce, I guess, as it were. But let's take a look at this, shall we, ladies and gents? So Maxwell found guilty on 5 of 6 felony counts. Now, I tell you what, this is really surprising, because I followed this. There was the Maxwell Trial Tracker Twitter account shut down. Had to make another one. Shut down for literally no reason. You know, like, I'm sure Twitter make up policies and just, oh, you broke this policy. They just make it up on the day and go, oh, you broke this, so we'll just shut you down. People weren't allowed to view it. It wasn't live streamed or anything like that, but there was a reason for that. I think because it was a federal case. So there was a differentiation between what could be shown and what couldn't be shown. And it's fascinating from the very start, because she walked in, she was smiling, happy, jovial, blowing kisses at her family. And then there was that really eerie moment where the courthouse artist sketched Maxwell sketching the artist. Very, very strange case, you know? And allegedly, what we know from when the guilty verdict was read out, Maxwell was deadpan. All she did was pick up a glass of water and take 2 sips. And that was it. So one, I mean, if you're guilty, you probably know what's going to happen anyway. Not a surprise, but again, nonce is going to nonce. Don't be a nonce. You're a nonce if you nonce. It's gross. But secondly, now her family have already stated straight away that they're launching an appeal. They're standing by their nonce brethren. As you do. Which is crazy to me. Which could tell us quite a few things. Like, is there going to be some kind of ploy, some plan? What's going to happen? Is there going to be a deal made? We've had the little black book, which Alec Baldwin's name is actually in it. And FYI, a lot of people that are like, why are you talking about this? Well, one, again, it's my channel. I'll do what the fuck I want. But secondly, is there's a lot of crossover with Hollywood elite. Alec Baldwin being one of them. His number was in that little black book of associates of you know, I can say certain words on this, but then YouTube will pick up certain others, and I don't really want this video to be demonetized or anything like that, but whatever. So that, again, another thing. Like, if names get, you know, out there, left, right, and center, and she makes a deal, for instance, we could see Hollywood just tumbled away, like genuinely tumbled away. And not only that as well, the British press were very odd when it came to this case. They were like, oh, Maxwell could be a victim. What? How? You know, little girls nonced, woman most affected. Like, ridiculous stuff. So anyway, let's dive into the report on exactly what happened. So so found guilty 5 of 6 felony counts brought against her related to her work and relationship with Mr. Jeffrey. You know, his death, obviously, suicide, etc. Blah blah blah. Can't say too much on that either. But this is what she was convicted of. Okay, so conspiracy to entice a minor to travel to engage in illegal acts. I'm bleeping certain words out. Conspiracy to transport a minor with the intent to engage in criminal activity. You know, sexual activity. Transportation of a minor with the intent to engage in criminal sexual activity. Conspiracy to commit sex trafficking of minors. Perjury related to testimony given in 2016. Now, what she wasn't found guilty of was enticement. It was one of these, but it was enticement. So she got convicted on conspiracies to commit those acts, but she didn't get found guilty over the actual affirmative enticement of those acts, if that makes sense. It's an interesting situation, because you'd think, look, at the end of the day, you know, essentially what she's been found guilty on is the conspiracy to do it. You know, being involved in it, I guess you could say, rather than the actual act itself and such. Which, I mean, you know, this woman's 60. She's gonna die in jail unless something happens. Because even with just one of these situations alone, it's like 40 years. So she and you know, people praise like the UK justice system. The UK justice system's awful. Like, you can murder someone and get out in like 7 years or some crap like that. It's just garbage. So yeah, she will basically die in prison for sure, unless something happens, which is again why her reaction to all of this was so surprising. But Maxwell faces a maximum of 65 years in prison, but Judge Alison Nathan did not set a date for sentencing, so we don't have sentencing yet. It's just a guess. But yeah, the maximum of 65. But I mean, she will die in prison for sure, unless again something happens. 4 women testified against Maxwell about what they said was her roles in the abuse they suffered, and she's the daughter of the disgraced British media baron Robert Maxwell, who died mysteriously in 1991. I mean, what a cluster of a family. A US attorney for the Southern District of New York, Damian Williams, issued the following statement after the verdict was read. A unanimous jury has found Ghislaine Maxwell guilty of one of the most worst crimes imaginable: facilitating and participating in abuse of children, noncing, crimes that she committed with her longtime partner, co-conspirator Epstein. The road to justice has been far too long, but today justice has been done. I want to commend the bravery of the girls, now grown women, who stepped out of the shadows and into the courtroom, because this has been like just the huge, sweeping conspiracy. And, you know, again, ladies and gents, I know I'm covering this today, and, you know, New Year's Eve and all that, celebrate. So, apologies. You know, bringing the mood down a bit. But it's important stuff, and I want to talk about it, and I will if I want to. And if you don't like it, you shouldn't have clicked on the video, should you? It's pretty obvious what I was going to talk about. So, really, you know, good statement anyway. Really good statement. Unanimous verdict, etc. So, again, the response was very strange. Very, very strange. You know, but he continues further. You know, their courage and willingness to face their abuser made this case and today's result possible. I also want to thank the career prosecutors of the Southern District of New York, who embraced the victims' quest for justice and have worked tirelessly day in and day out to ensure that Maxwell was held accountable for her crimes. This office will always stand with the victims, will always follow the facts wherever they lead, and will always fight to ensure that no one, no matter how powerful and well connected, is above the law. And that's kind of you know, the sort of take home from all of this is, you know, people, you know, basically the shit's kind of hitting the fan, I guess you could say. I had to close, you know, otherwise I'd look awfully white. But it's madness, absolute madness. I'm glad that this has happened. Very, very glad. That was my fingers, not my. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, good, absolutely fantastic. You know, there's not many charities that I support. It's always animals and children, basically. You know, animals, doggos especially. We've got little Lord Jasper over there. You can barely see him now. But you know, children are literally the future, and they need to be nurtured rather than, you know, nonced. Don't nonce, nurture is the should be, you know, a new hashtag. No noncing, just nurture. So yeah, good. Very, again, interesting that wasn't found guilty of the charge of enticement, just conspiracy to entice. Very interesting. And very, very interesting was the reaction that she was given. Just deadpan, just took 2 gulps of a drink. That's it. Like, what a weird reaction to your life being thrown away. It could be that it's been so ongoing now, because it has been ongoing for a while, in that she's just sort of, I don't know, agreeable to the whole situation, just gone, it's fine, I accept it, I guess. But it remains to be seen, because the family's already filing to sort of reject it, get it thrown out. So we'll see how it goes. But what do you guys think? Let me know down below. Again, don't nonce, it's gross. No one likes a nonce. They're awful people. Disgusting. Absolutely disgraceful stuff. Yeah, anyway, love to hear your thoughts. Let me know down below. Again, sorry to lower the tone and all that, but I want to talk about it. It was fascinating stuff. It's been fascinating to watch it unfold just from the get-go. Like, no coverage. Media's not really been covering it that much. I'm amazed to see this article alone on Deadline. Like, you know, Hollywood, mainstream media, Like, this shit's gonna hit the fan. Like, if this all comes out, like, it's gonna hit the fan. You know, who was on the island, who was doing what. She's found guilty of it now, so just be honest, just tell people. And maybe, again, that's why I say, maybe that is exactly why she's fine about it all. Because she's like, well, I'm gonna do plea deals. I'm gonna get let off. I'm gonna get, you know, sentenced to this instead. Because I'm just gonna tell everything. Fascinating to see what happens. Anyway, let me know what you think down below. Thanks for watching, sticking with me. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Missed Age Reviews. Take care.